This trend media view and this global trend conversation. What look at trending issues in Nigeria and globally. So I need to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and do not forget to hit the notification bell. Let's just look at what is happening here that has to do with Nigerian electoral system. He said Bayelsa, Kogi, Imo, Pulse, SERAP, that is socio-economic right and academic project, wants INEC to prosecute electoral offenders. For what we are seeing, it appears as if INEC is the major problem of Nigerian democracy. It beats our imagination why INEC will be waiting for an organization like SERAP to start admonishing the electoral umpire to prosecute alleged electoral offenders. And this was exactly or similar to what transpired during the 2023 election, where INEC, after making guidelines on how the election should be managed, reneged at the nick of time and started giving excuse of network glitch. And as we speak, I think the right way to go currently is for Nigerians, all stakeholders, to start agitating for a review of our electoral acts, particularly the area that has to do with transmission of election results. I think it is understandable that until we get to the level where we transmit our election results electronically, we cannot be talking of free, fair, and credible election, judging by what we experienced in the just concluded 2023 general election and this obstacle election that just took place in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo states. And not only that, we equally, to further deepen our democracy, there's every need for the authority. So there's every need for the authorities, the stakeholders, to come together and tinker with that grand norm, particularly with the electoral acts, and look at the areas like Nigerians in diaspora. I think it's important that we should give Nigerians in diaspora the opportunity to start voting, because they are equally Nigerians. The world is already a global village. How to go about this, I don't think is a challenge. Once we move towards electronic transfer of results, and we should equally be at this stage of our political life, we should be thinking of how to go electronical when it comes to voting. Because if you look at what transpired in the obstacle elections of Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa, it's going to show that even if you transmit election results electronically, there's emerging threats, especially where it was alleged that the election results were written before the commencement of the process. So it's going to show that even if you have to transmit the election results electronically, if the election umpire, the personnel, have collude with politicians, it's possible they can write results before the election. At the end of the day, the whole essence of transmitting the election results electronically will be defeated. So to that extent, I think it is high time we go towards electronic voting. So another major area that needs to be addressed is the area of litigation. Because once an individual is declared the winner of an election, particularly the president, and he's inaugurated, he's sworn in, there's automatic state capture. Because all the instrumentalities of government is already as is known and caprices of the president. As once you become the president, you are automatically the president and the commander of the armed forces, irrespective of the fact whether your election is being challenged or not. So to that extent, I think it's important that after election, let us amend electoral acts in such a way that let us deal with all issues that have to do with litigation, dispense all the cases of any person challenging the election before the president winner is inaugurated and sworn in as the president, the governor, as the case may be. Mr. Nii, I was looking at our electoral system. Our electoral system, and the major area I was looking at is how do we. Because now it seems as if nobody is talking about how to amend the electoral acts, and the major areas we have challenge have to do with e-transfer of election results. Whether Nigerians in diaspora should vote, whether we should deal with all litigations before swearing in. All these are what I wanted to look at. Good morning, Mr. Machi. Talking about our electoral reform and deepening our democracy in Nigeria, I think first and foremost, the Senate House of Committee on Electoral Reform held a
town hall meeting, I think sometimes 2 weeks ago, where they called people to come and submit their suggestions, their ideas, and the new, adjustment people, this thing can be done. And I think one of the most important advice that was submitted on that day was done by Professor Jega. You know what he said? He said that no politician should have that impetus to win in one political party, and while you have won, then you decamp. That we need to explicitly state it in our electoral act that is not allowed.
But interestingly, someone like Wike was against such a move, but for his body language currently, everyone says, look as if he's supporting it. So, doesn't mean politicians should not be trusted?
Listen, we are talking about deepening our democracy, and we are talking about a democracy that is sustainable. The reason why we are here today is because we have not had political parties that run on ideologies. And one of the best ways you can deter all these, fraudulent politicians who call themselves Democrats is when it is clearly stated that if you win on APC, no matter the fracas you have, if you say you want to decamp, you have lost that position.
You drop the mandate.
You drop the mandate.
And go as an individual.
And then you have lost that position. If you go to another party, you have to wait to the next election cycle. Look at what is happening in Rivers State. You think if we have that policy explicitly stated in our electoral act, you think the 27 guys who left PDP for APC would have done what they have done?
They have taken twice.
They didn't, because they know if they leave, that position is automatically vacant. So if they know they are going to APC, they have to wait for the next 4 years before they can run for any other election. So I think that's the bane of our democracy. When you look at what happened in YPP, I think it's in Anambra State. Is it fine about
Okay, yes.
Who left YPP for APC? Look at Adelabu, who left Action Democracy, just joined APC. We cannot do that. It's totally unfair to that way. But we can never have, strong political parties when that is done. Look at everybody is still, trying to look at what is going to happen with the Labour senators, Labour Party, assembly members.
Now, Mr. Lee, let us look at the area of litigation. So stakeholders have argued that in the event that we are amending our electoral act, let us deal with the issue that has to do with air litigation. Let it be in the constitution. Before you are sworn in, let all the cases in court be dispensed. They say because once you are sworn in, particularly the president, that there is an automatic state capture, because you are automatically the president and the commander of the armed forces. Do you think it's something we should amend?
For that to come to play, and for that to be a reality, there are some lacunas we need to actually, close. We need to close some gaps, most especially in terms of our transmission. Our transmission needs to be fully electronic. It needs to be fully electronic. Now, the question now is, does Nigeria has a capacity? Of course. We have the capacity to fully have an electronic voting system operationalized in Nigeria. But you see, because of the manipulations of the last time those politicians who always like to deploy, they brought in that, a lacuna. Don't forget the Electoral Act 2022, which was, passed by the 9th Assembly, okay, where the Jabia played a major role. Who is the Chief of Staff today? They understood the gaps. Okay, there was a need why there was a reason why they rejected that word, that the INEC has the liberty to choose its form of transmission.
That discretionary power.
That is ambiguous. And when you put things in writing, it should be clear, so that for the deaf, so that anybody who is involved, you don't have to be a PhD holder to interpret it. Because you can recall that when we were talking about the INEC and the viewers, there was so much argument that why was it not transferred? You and I were arguing, we fought over the from ECHA. So I think if we are going to have any two critical adjustments in the electoral reforms, first of all, we have to go fully electronic, right from the accreditation to what? To voting. Then secondly, we have to put in that deterrent that if you win on one political party, you get a mandate, you the cap, you lose that mandate.
Do you think we have gotten to the point as a people, as a country, where Nigerians in diaspora should start voting?
No, we have not gotten to that part. No, I must tell you why. We don't have the capacity to finance that logistics. Let me tell you, when you're talking about diaspora, you're probably talking about Nigerians in Ghana, Togo, Sierra Leone, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, USA, Turkey, Canada. So I mean, it's a very, very stretch exercise. Financially, we are not ready. Let us perfect the one we are sitting in now. So any diaspora who wants to vote should come back home. So we need to build that confidence that yes, we are going through free, electronic. And I can tell you that this current government, if they are not pushed by the people, they will not sign it into law. They will not sign it into law that we should go fully electronic.
Now, Mr. Ali, let me take you to what we have here. He's saying, Bayelsa, Kogi, Imo Pools, Serap, that is Social Economic Right and Accountability Project, wants INEC to prosecute electoral offenders. But don't think a body like Serap should be the one putting pressure on INEC to prosecute electoral offenders?
As far as I'm concerned,
is it not something they should have done on that?
Serap is a civil society organization that fights for the rights of the common man, and they are found to be holding the government accountable. You see, the problem is Serap is doing the job, but people are not giving Serap the backing it needs. You and I are not supporting Serap. As a matter of fact, we all are supposed to be a member of Serap. I think Serap is that non-partisan party or body that will hold the government responsible regardless of which party. We can see how Serap has been holding all state governors, all national, ministers, have been trying to call them out. But you see, we Nigerians, I think we are so unintelligent. We try to always look for hope where there's no hope. We rather put our hope and our attention to the churches. Look at Serap. Serap is fighting this cause, but they're not getting the support from the common man. People if Serap says they want to come out now for a simple protest, Nigerians are not supporting it. Online, how many people have you seen supporting Serap? Serap is doing the job of NFC. They are doing the job of chiefs. And what actually distinguishes Serap is they are not affiliated to any political, person. NFC has actually been infiltrated when Ajero supported Peter. So they lost the common man's hope. However, Serap is filling that gap. So for Serap, what they said is true. Every electoral offenders, just like we had in Adamawa, that guy who committed that serious,
that is the President Electoral Commission.
Yes, they are right. Right now, it's cooling off in Nigerian Republic.
But interestingly, the same election where that man is cooling off in the prison or so.
Where?
Or is he has left the country?
Are you talking about the guy in Adamawa?
No, I mean the resident electoral commissioner that wanted to announce the winner.
He was never arrested. He escaped.
But the point at the meeting is the Court of Appeal is giving judgment over who won that election. today.
Is it in Adamawa?
Yes.
I think that case has been that case that the tribunal was actually yanked off. But then,
No, the governor, 21 at the level of electoral.
yes, I know. Binani, Binani is just been, she's just been delusional. And I think the appeal court will actually throw it away. Because there's no cases in that. And I can, well, ordinarily, I supported her initially. But having seen what happened, all the shenanigans, I think democracy needs to strive. And we, the people, also will have our critical role to play. So unfortunately, our diversity is our major weak point because look at what is happening in River State. I'm not going to leave this platform without talking about that. Look at what's happening in River State. It's saddening to see that a former governor is trying to hold the Barawi's people into action.
That even want to bring this question. There's an allegation out there. There is even a speculation that a high court in Abuja have prepared an injunction they want to issue today to give legitimacy to the faction allegedly supporting Wiki as the legislative speaker and House members. And we have seen a high court in Rivers State recognizing the minority group. Yeah. Could we be looking at anarchy in that state?
I think we are heading towards anarchy. Yes, a court injunction that was passed by a court in River State can be overturned by a higher court.
But this time, we are hearing that it may come from a court of coordinate jurisdiction.
I mean, according to the jurisprudence, an higher court can overrule a court injunction by the state court there, and that is what the faction of those who left the APC are trying to do. But again, this reminds us and takes us back that critical reform has to be done. Mr. Martin, these guys will exploit the gap we have in our electoral reform until we fill in that gap. That if you one through PDP, if there is no any reasonable that fulfills all the requirements for election, if they are not having any central, maybe disgruntled in PDP, and you just left because of your state fracas to other parties that have lost our mandate, that's clearly stated. Okay? Until then, we continue to have such shenanigans in our political. Look at, we might have something in our own state today. People don't really know where Shey Makinde belongs. People are suspecting he might be APC. Okay? People are suspecting Kubara might want to defect to maybe Labour Party. People are suspecting the Labour Party members that they might want to defect to APC. When that policy, when that act is clearly stated, we're going to start having political parties of ideologies. So you will not be jumping based on your political interest alone. You know that if I jump, I have lost the mandate. I am mainly jumping because this party does no longer support my ideology. But today we know that they are jumping from one ship to the other, mainly because of their own political interests.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Araf, yeah, we are looking at the Bayelsa Kogi email where Serap is advising INEC to prosecute electoral offenders. Is it Serap that is supposed to be advising them, or is that they should have done naturally?
I think using the word naturally is wrong, Matthew. Something they should have done constitutionally, according to the law. Nothing like law of nation in regard of this kind of crime. See, let me tell you, before we went to the court, the Riot Act has been read. It is so obvious that any electoral offender should be what? Prosecuted. I think you understand. So law of nature is out. What is going to happen is the review of the constitution. Anybody that is found liable, to understand, to any offense in regard of election, electoral offense or malpractices or whatever, should be what? Jailed or sent to prison or detained or whatever. But it shouldn't be something that a group of people, non-governmental organization or within the government, as an agency outside the judiciary, should be telling INEC what to do.
They already going to court to ask court to compare INEC to prosecute electoral offenders.
Not really going to court.
No, they're already going to court.
Okay, Sarab is going to court.
Yes.
What is the Nigerian nation doing about the people that commit electoral
that brings me to the question now.
Yeah.
So people are arguing that based on this, that INEC is Nigeria is the problem of Nigerian
election democracy, yes.
Because if you should wait for a non-governmental organization to put pressure on you, and you go to court to do what we are supposed to you to do your job,
To do your job, yes.
going forward, what are the areas in our electoral act you think should be amended to put INEC on check? So people have argued that one, remove the power of discretionary power from INEC, because as it stands today, INEC have liberty to determine how to transmit election results.
Yeah.
So people are saying, let it be clear, compare INEC by the condition that one, you must transmit election results electronically. Is this something you support?
It's something I do support. Yes, election results should be, transmitted, electronically. And it was a law that made in the past. It was obvious that Nigerians accepted it. We welcome that.
In the past, even what we are currently gives INEC discretion.
Okay.
Right to determine how to transmit the results.
But that was before. See, listen. Before the election of 2023, it was obvious that electronic transmission was at least debated in the House, and they accepted it. It was even during Buhari, it was so obvious that INEC was to transmit election electronically. That's why everybody
was based on that
guidelines now. But this personal decision by INEC is so, is an infringement on Nigerians. I think
they will have to give them that power to determine how to transmit election.
I'm telling you, it's illegal. The opposition party is not doing anything. If the opposition party are working assiduously, they should have called INEC to order. They should have called government of the day order. They should have called Nigerians to order. That failure to do so, or that there will be something that we should do. They should do against the government of the day. Because we find out that the previous administration are the one supporting INEC on whatever INEC is doing. Look at the level they have gone to manipulate an independent agency. An agency that is not dependent on government. They manipulated it, yet they are working within the government because they are the power of the day. They manipulated INEC to dance to their tunes.
Some have argued that let us allow Nigerians in diaspora to start voting.
That has been debated in the past.
You think we have gotten to that level?
It is right. We have gotten to that level. It is right. I know that some person might hack and voting as if they are diasporian people, but I believe God that if we do that, we are going to succeed. Because some person will be monitoring the port, INEC portal or whatever. I think you understand. Nobody could hack into it. To vote in diaspora is allowed. Nigeria has graduated up to that. It's almost 30 years of our nascent democracy. Do you understand me? So this time around, I think transmission electronically, voting in diaspora, it is accepted by me and other well-meaning Nigerians.
Now, let us look at another area. See our letter act. Issue of litigation. Some have argued that if you swear in the winner or the person who is declared winner by INEC, particularly the president, there is automatic state capture. Because the man is automatically the president and the commander of the armed forces.
That is meant for
that reason, it's better you deal with all litigation.
I'm telling you that we debated this early this year. You know that the reason why Tinubu took over power, seized INEC, seized the judges, the judiciary, is the question you just asked me now. Because if somebody is declared by INEC, he should wait. After litigation, after going to the court, it is the court that will pronounce that person the winner, not INEC. INEC pronounced Tinubu winner illegally. That's why Tinubu is running an illegitimate government. I didn't understand. It is the court. If you swear this man in, if you declare this man winner, he has automatically acquired the whole immunity clause covering him as a president. And from there, on that seat, he can do an undo. He can go against the opposition party. He can seize the judiciary and will start rubbishing the law. Are you listening to me? So what is preferable now in our society is that after election, if INEC say this person is having upper hand, I won't use the word winner, the court should decide, not INEC. That's where I start, because if you say Mr. Matthew has won the election, take him to the, what they call it, collection center, Abuja, and declare him the winner. Before you know it, you go to Tafawa Balewa Square or Eagle Square and inaugurate him. From that day, he has become automatically the what? Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, is controlling the whole organs of government, the whole government agencies. He's general of soldiers, general of the police. So the opposition party that are coming in behind, he is going to use that as a power against them, to suppress them down. I didn't understand. That's why litigation should be the case.
Now,
After election, normal election, litigation will follow.
Lastly, Mr. Araf,
Yeah.
the issue of independent candidacy is parties in some other places in the world. Do you think it's something we should accommodate in our electoral system? Independent, when you are not in any political party, just stand and just stand for an election, just because you are popular in a constituency, you go to the poll, vote for me. Yes, there should be fun. Do you think it's something we should?
No, it can't work in this kind of area, in this part of the world. Nigeria, you can see what we are doing now is, if you ask me, is within the context of the law. Before you contest, you become an owner or a member of a particular political party, and you gather momentum by having some structures, political structures backing you up. But in a situation whereby someone spring up from one corner and start debating, I am the president, I should contest, I am this, I am that, maybe because of his money. I think understand, they can't go well here. If you practice it here, some person will carry gun. If you practice it here, you will find out that Nigeria is the most populous nation in the world, where monkeys, chimpanzees are legislating law in the House of Senate. If you try it, you will find out that Nigerians are monkeys. They are apes. So it is why it cannot go well in this part of the world. Anybody that contests should not be an independent person. You can't do it on your own. You must belong to a particular political, whether popular or infamous party. That is why you come out and everybody is going to vote for you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Araf.
Yeah, thank you.
Once more, this is Trend Media View, and this is a trend conversation. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell.